Okay. Um, Gracie gave me this that I'm using as a stencil for this page. My lighting's not good. It's kind of early this morning and this backlight isn't that great, but another thing, I stopped using palette and I've started using just some of my deli paper that I put my paints on. I typically use red ochre and two different tones of flesh, and this one is the rose flesh from Artist's Law. This is the more pinky one, and it's called Light Pink by Liquitex, and I use some white. So I thought that I would just get started and do a little bit of painting while I'm waiting for home care to come, and put on Larry's socks and check his throat. We're waiting to hear from the doctor to see if he's got strep throat. I had to take him in. He's had a sore throat and it was really red and raw, and strep throat's going around, so we went into the clinic. Oh yeah, sure, now what? Just give me a minute, I've got a message here. Okay. I got my phone sitting here, so we're waiting for the doctor to call. Alright, so what I typically do is start with the red ochre. I wet my brush a little bit, and I don't want to put my arm in it, and I will at this rate. And I start by just going around the shape of the face. I have a wet brush so that I can blend this in as I go. As you see, I have my guidelines on here. This is a drawing that I had started showing when I was doing an adult class the other week or so ago. So I have the drawing of the mathematics of the face here. And I'll just go in where my brain says that there's some shadow. This is certainly not a good brush, but I guess it'll work. I've been better off using a smaller brush, but no, I have to do it the hard way. Alright, and now I start with, after the red ochre, I start with the flesh color that's just a bit tinted. I'll wet my brush again. I mean, I'm not saying that this is the right way. This is just the way that I do it. And that by any means does not mean that I think I'm doing it the only right way. But I'll just start to put in some of this darker color. And then it'll just happen layer by layer by layer from now on. Now I'll come in with the lighter pink. And you can see the difference now. You know, I watch Willowing and some of the art teachers do this, and their paintings always look so smooth and so nice. And man, they just act like just boom and it goes down and their video is over. With me, I have to fuss and fuss and fuss with it to get to where I feel like it's at least a little bit better, but it never looks really polished like theirs does. I know I have one thing that I do. I will show you this as a last step. I'll show you what I do as a last step to get things to look smoother. I don't know why I started this video at this time in the morning, because I know my daughter phones me, my youngest daughter phones me every day, every morning when she's going to work, but on a weekend she'll phone me as well about this time every morning, and I love it. I love it. I don't care if it wakes me up. I don't care if I've had a long night, and it's wonderful. She's, ever since she got out on her own after graduating from school and hairdressing, well, no, when she started hairdressing, she phoned me every morning. Usually weekends we don't, we take a break, but it's lovely, and she may phone me. Alright, here's, I'm going in with some white to start to highlight just a little bit. Get it on the chin, get a bit in the cheek. And I keep going with a wet brush because it evens the paint out, it blends better. At least that's what I think. And you guys may you all have your own technique to get to an end to where you feel like you've got your painting done. Oops. I might be out of camera shot there. I moved it. And this is sort of one of the faces that you'll see me do often, because I learned it from Karen Campbell a long time ago. The upswept hair, and I stuck with that all the time because it's my favorite way to do hair. So you'll see me do that quite often, where I'll do the upswept hair. Okay, now I'm trying to get in there, and my brush is getting a little bit dry. I'm trying to get in here and put a bit of shading, more shading in. I tend to jump around as I'm doing. I'll move from one part of the face or one part of the painting to another. Just keep moving around. Where some people start with the eyes, or some people start with, different parts of the face. Very often I will do the eyes first, get some color in, but I do that once I get a bit frustrated, when I get to the ugly stage. And every painting has an ugly stage for me. But I will go in and do the eyes when I feel frustrated. I can feel that it doesn't feel right, and I'm starting to get frustrated. I'll go and do the eyes. And again, I try to keep my brush wet. It doesn't mean that I'm cleaning my brush, I'm just keeping it wet so I can blend better. Alright, I'm starting to get where I feel like I like it. I like what's happening here. And as I video, I'm at an awkward, I'm not looking straight onto the picture. I'm having to look ahead a bit so that it's a little bit awkward. That's what I'm trying to say. So I don't want the face not to look flat. So to get that rounded look, I put in a bit of the red ochre. Now I'll come in with some white again. Now I lost some of the shading, so I have to go back and get some of the shading in. Back in again. I've got Easter dinner ready to go here when the doctor phones and says that if he says that he's clear and he doesn't have strep throat, we've got neighbors and his nephew that are not afraid of catching a sore throat apparently, so we're going to have Easter dinner. I'm going to make buns, and I need 2-hour time slot for that, and make some air buns. And I'm doing a ham, but I'll put the ham in anyway, even if we're not having dinner, because we can eat that. But the buns I won't do unless we're going to have company. And I've got a salad made. We already tried it out, so if we had to eat all of the salad, that's okay too. Some light in there. I'm very much mixed media. You'll see me start to use all sorts of things to try to get to where I like the painting. I'm gonna get some rose. What color is this called? Thistle blossom pink. It's a nice pink for the lips. And these colors are colors that I always keep extra of. If I teach a class, I take part of that money and buy supplies. And I'll always buy extra of the flesh and the rose madder or some rose color for the lips, different flesh colors. Come in with the brown or the red ochre to define that lip. Give it some roundness. Brush it off. I'm not wetting, I'm just brushing it off. Okay, then we'll come in with some white to give some light to that bottom lip. Give it a bit of roundness. And I use Stabilo All pencil, and I really sold on them. I really like them. I'm now going to add some darker brown. Oh my goodness, this sounds like it's got a big lump in the bottle. This is called Pure Magenta, but it's a dark enough color that it'll work for that lip and around the eye. There. see if that's dark enough. Yeah, it is. There, and it's not dark enough for the eyes, so I'm going to add just a drop of black onto my palette so I can put the colors in together. And black is not a good color to use, really. So if you can tone the black down with something, it doesn't look so stark. There. Start to get that eye. See if I can get it. There, that one eye's darker than the other. And now she's got pretty thick eyebrows. And I use, because I have green eyes, I guess, I tend to use green for the eye color. And this page is going in my art journal. So it's not on canvas, it's just on paper. And I'll show you the art journal that I'm using. I'm going to start a class, art journaling class, because my new gazebo is here, and the box weighs 300 pounds because we decided to get a metal pot. So we don't have to keep taking it down, and we don't have to brush it off. It'll brush itself off. So let me just start to get a little bit of outlining happening here for defining lines. There, that's pretty stark, alright. And I'll fuss with these eyes for a while before I finally feel like I've got them. And once I get the color, in this case the color green down, I'll come in and lighten it up a bit. So that it has a little bit of depth to it. And I call this the light of life, because the minute you put that little dot of white in there, it starts to look like it's coming, that the picture's coming. I need to lighten some of this up a bit. Oops, don't move.